Purgatory is not a fable. It is real. And there is a story that proves it like few others. In 1959, an Italian mystic nun, Mother Speranza of Jesus, received a message from the Lord that changed everything. A bishop was about to die, and before this happened, he had to carry out a decisive act. But the most shocking part happened after his death. Mother Speranza saw him in purgatory, and the bishop himself revealed to her how terrible that place is and how different the time of the afterlife is compared to ours. What you are about to hear is a story that has shaken the hearts of those who have heard it, and it could change the way you live. But why should we believe the vision of this nun? Who was Mother Speranza? She was not an ordinary nun. She was a woman whose life was a bridge between heaven and earth. Born in Spain in 1893, she felt a total call to God from a very young age. Her life was a succession of profound mystical experiences, which she kept hidden for years until her confessors ordered her to write everything down in a diary. And in that diary, she did not write simple thoughts, but dialogues with Jesus, visions of purgatory, and prophecies that came true with precision. She founded 2 congregations, the Handmaids and the Sons of Merciful Love. And in the 1950s, she arrived in a small Umbrian village, Collevalenza, to build from scratch the Sanctuary of Merciful Love. Her faith was not made of words, but of works, and of a unique capacity to read the heart of God. And that is precisely why we must listen to her. Because one of her prophecies was about to shake the Diocese of Todi to its very foundations. It is the end of September 1959. Mother Speranza is in Collevalenza, and that night she lives through an interior experience that shakes her to the core. She tells her confessor, Father Gino, that the Lord has spoken to her, ordering her to go immediately to Todi to see Bishop Alfonso Maria de Sanctis. The message is clear and dramatic. The bishop, who still knows nothing, has an advanced tumor. The time of his life is running out, and his days are numbered. Mother Speranza must go to him without delay to ask for the canonical approval of the chapel of Collevalenza as the Sanctuary of Merciful Love. It is a scene that seems to come straight out of the pages of the Bible. A consecrated woman who receives a heavenly order, a shepherd who must carry out a decisive act before dying, a divine plan that must be fulfilled despite the little time remaining. Mother Speranza leaves for Todi immediately. When she arrives at the bishop's residence, she finds him restless about his health. She tells him her request. "Your Excellency, the Lord wants you to recognize this chapel as a sanctuary." It is urgent, Monsignor de Sanctis, moved by that plea and perhaps aware of a deep unease within himself, promises her that by Sunday he will sign the decree. But he also confides that he can no longer sleep at night and asks her for prayers. Mother Speranza encourages him to get examined, but in her heart she knows that time is running out. She does not tell him everything, not to frighten him. "If I had told him the whole truth," she would later say, "he would have died of a heart attack before his time." On the promised Sunday, the bishop keeps his word. He performs an act that will change history. He signs the decree officially recognizing the chapel of Collevalenza as the Sanctuary of Merciful Love, the very first sanctuary in the world dedicated to this title of Christ. Immediately afterward, Monsignor de Sanctis travels to Rome for medical tests. The diagnosis is merciless, advanced cancer, terminal stage. There is nothing more that can be done. At this point, however, an extraordinary figure enters the scene. Pope John XXIII. The pontiff, a friend and former classmate of the bishop, learns of his illness and decides to visit him in the hospital. In that meeting, the two spoke at length about Mother Speranza and the newly approved sanctuary. The bishop expressed his regret at not having had time to send all the documents to Rome. John the 23rd reassured him with words that Mother Speranza would remember forever. "You did well to give the approval. For me, Mother Speranza is a great saint. I will take care of the rest. Do not worry." After this visit, Monsignor de Sanctis passed away peacefully. It was the 8th of November, 1959. He had completed the act that heaven had asked of him, but the story does not end there. The body of Monsignor de Sanctis was brought to Collevalenza for a funeral mass. During the celebration, something inexplicable happened. Mother Speranza entered into a state of deep ecstasy. She remained motionless, her face transfigured, insensible to everything, even to the flash of the photographers. In that ecstasy, she had the vision that would change everything. First, Jesus appeared to her and said, "I will show you with how much glory the bishop enters paradise, because he gave approval to the first Sanctuary of Merciful Love." Then Jesus disappeared, and before her appeared Monsignor de Sanctis in his glorified body. He said, "Mother Speranza, the Lord sends me to thank you. Because you called me, I was able to give approval to the sanctuary, and now I am in glory for all eternity." But he added a phrase that chilled her. "Before entering paradise, however, I had to pass through purgatory." "I suffered greatly," Mother Speranza, astonished, replied. "Your Excellency, but you died only 2 days ago." And the bishop revealed one of the most shocking secrets of the afterlife. "Mother Speranza, the time of the afterlife is not the same as that lived on earth. I have suffered much more in these 2 days of purgatory than in 80 years of life. Because when one dies, the soul presents itself before God and is ashamed of all that it has neglected. You must tell everyone that the afterlife exists and that on earth the most important thing is to love the Lord. Everything else is worthless." So, what does all of this mean for you and for me today? Should we live in terror of purgatory? The message that emerges from this story is the exact opposite. It is not a threat, but an urgent invitation to conversion. Purgatory is not a place of condemnation, but of mercy. It is the fire of God's love that purifies the soul from all selfishness, so that it may enter into the full joy of paradise. This story gives us a powerful truth. The time we have on earth is precious. We must use it to love. Every lack of love, every neglected act, will become pain there, because the pure light of God will show us everything that was not love. But it also tells us that our prayers are an incredible weapon. They can truly help the souls in purgatory, shorten their purification, and accompany them into paradise. And now the question is for you. If you were to die today, how much time would you spend in purgatory? This is not a question to frighten you, but to wake you up. Today you still have time. Today you can choose to love, to forgive, to do good. Write in the comments the name of a deceased person for whom you want to pray. Together, we will form a great chain of prayer for the souls in purgatory. And if this video has touched you, share it with someone who has lost a loved one. It can be a comfort and an invitation to hope. Because the afterlife exists, and heaven is our destination. And as the bishop reminded us through the mouth of Mother Speranza, everything else is worthless.